Hey guys, what's up? Adrian Donovan here from FlipDontFlop. In this video, we're going to be going over the top 10 best thrifted sales that we had in the month of November. We had some very incredible ones that sold in the month of November, especially like the number 2 and number 1 spot. Those were like some crazy good sales. If this sounds like the kind of thing that you guys would be into, do consider subscribing, leaving a comment or a like, anything like that would be greatly appreciated. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Alright, welcome back guys. So this top 10 list is going to be in order of total revenue, not necessarily like in order of profit. So the first pair, we have a pair of men's new Sorel Caribou snow boots. Men's Sorel is not something that we find very often, and usually when we do, it's priced really high. I can only recall finding a new pair of men's Sorel boots maybe a couple of times ever. This pair sold for $104.09, and we paid, I believe, $15 for this pair. So after the fees, selling costs, and everything, we were left with a profit of $48.03. Coming in at number 9 is a pair of women's Tory Burch Kiernan zip-up riding boots. They had like a really nice brown color, and the actual like Tory Burch logo was nice and gold, so it like had a really nice pop. It stuck out really well. These sold for $120 and a penny. We paid just $10 for these boots, and after all the fees and such, we were left with a profit of $76.36. And we have this pair coming in at number 8. It's a pair of women's Harley Davidson Alexa motorcycle boots. These were like really tall, which is pretty hard to find, honestly. Usually when we find Harley Davidson boots, they're usually like kind of like shorter ankle boots, but these were like probably like a mid-calf or below the knee boot. So these sold for $120.20. We paid $14 for these boots. And after all the fees and such, we had a profit of $58.99. And we have this pair coming in at number 7. It's a pair of men's UGG Australia Driscoll pull-on, kind of like a biker boot. We don't find men's UGG hardly ever, honestly. We pretty much like only find like women's. And UGG, it does sell fairly decently, but it needs to be in really good condition. A lot of the times when we find UGG, they're like heavily discolored, they're like heavily worn, torn. And they're also usually priced quite high here in Cincinnati. This pair, they were marked at $40. We bought them at half off, so we of course paid $20. They sold for $128.24. This is a very good model to find, by the way. As well as like any pair, honestly, you see on this list, it is of course a very high bolo. You definitely want to pick these up. Of course, if they're priced all right, they're in good condition, all those things. We had a profit of $77.03 on this pair. And we have this pair coming in at number 6. It's another pair of women's Tory Burch logo riding boots. This pair, they sold for $132.57. So we got a very nice price for these. Now the logo on this one was a little bit harder to see, but it was there. It's not like it was like gold or silver hardware to where like it kind of really popped. But they still did sell for a really nice price. We paid $15 for these, and after fees and shipping, we were left with a profit of $70.85. And coming in at number 5, I would say is one of my favorite finds of the month. It was a very sharp pair of men's Prada slip-on penny loafers. This pair was extremely high quality, very thick midsole, very sturdy, nice leather, very like sharp-looking pair of shoes, and they sold pretty much instantly. Also, like the men's UGG boots, those also, I think, sold in 24 hours or less. This pair sold for $162.06 total. We paid $37.50 on this pair. So this pair was marked at $75, but we did buy these at that thrift store that we go to like pretty much every week. Whenever they have a half off sale, we head straight there. We don't waste any time. It's such a good store. We always buy like 40, maybe even 60 pairs there. You definitely don't want to miss it when they have a half off sale. So yeah, had it marked to 75, paid half of that, $37.50. And after all the fees and such, we were left with a profit of $83.32. And coming in at number 4, this is a brand that we find pretty much never. I think I can count the number of times on one hand that we have found this brand. It's Manolo Blahnik. It's a pair of like gold pump heels. And for these being like gold and the type of leather they were in like really, really good condition. They did have a few scratches, but it wasn't anything that bad at all. So this pair sold for $174.96 total. That was an incredible price to get for these. And after we paid just $6 for these, by the way, so it was like pretty much like robbery. Like we just pretty much got these for virtually nothing. And after all the fees and such, we were left with a profit of $139.10. And we have this pair coming in at number 3. This is another brand that I don't find often, but it's a brand that whenever I do find it, I pretty much always pick it up unless it's like destroyed or something. The brand is Alden. And this is a pair of men's dress shoes. What makes these special is that they are genuine shell cordovan. And shell cordovan, for those of you that don't know, it is a very wrinkle resistant and like kind of naturally water resistant leather. And it is made from like the back end of a horse. It's very sturdy, very good quality leather, looks very sharp. These sold for $175.99. And I would have sold these for higher, but they actually did have a defect in the leather. There was a like kind of like a crack forming in the leather. Otherwise, these would have been worth like well over $200. But because of that, I did sell them for a bit less. And I also did get the heels replaced on these because the heels were quite worn down. Whoever had these, they definitely got their use out of them. So we paid $25 for these total. That's with the cobbler work to replace the heels, resurface and paint the sole and polish. So after all the fees and shipping, we are left with a profit of $114.21. And now we are getting into number 2 and number 1. This pair is one of my favorite finds I think I've ever had in my course of reselling shoes, which is like about 6 years. It's a pair of men's Allen Edmonds Leeds. It's another pair of shell cordovan shoes. These are 12.5 extra wide, so a very unusual size, very desirable size, hard to find. These sold for $293.61. Just incredible, but these were in excellent condition. Paid just $12 for these, which is just ridiculous. And after fees and shipping, we are left with a profit of $223.98. And we are at number 1. It is a pair that I probably will never find ever again. Hopefully I do, but I will not hold my breath on finding another one of these. It's a new pair of women's Prada logo slip-on moccasins, and they were priced at just $11, which clearly whoever priced them, they had no idea what they were, which I don't know like who hasn't heard of Prada. Prada's been around for a very long time, and they've been very popular for a very long time, but whatever. Priced them at $11. I saw them from a distance, and I went straight to them. I scooped them up immediately, put them in my cart, and I did see that they were brand new. They sold for $326.99. After fees and shipping, we're left with a profit of $262.30 on this pair. So this is the number 1 best thrifted sale that we had in the month of November. So that's going to wrap up the top 10 best thrifted sales that we had in the month of November. So as you saw, we had some pretty darn incredible flips from thrift stores, especially like the top 2. Those are pairs that you just hardly ever are going to find, but it is definitely very exciting when you do. So before you guys go, I'd like to go over a really quick numbers overview of the top 10 best thrifted sales we had in the month of November. The total revenue is $1,738.70. The total cost of goods is $165.50. And after all the fees and shipping and such, we are left with a profit of $1,154.20. or about 66.4% margins. Definitely some very, very incredible finds. Well, guys, if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, leaving us a comment or a like. Anything like that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.